Hello students, so welcome back again to this discussion session where we will be discussing the correct answers that you might have chosen and why the other options are not possible. That also will be discussed one by one. Okay, so you might have scored good marks, I believe. So let us start with the first set of questions where, as usual, you have been given a pair of words and then you have to find out similar pairs. Okay, so just like how we have for all those exams which you might have attended. All right, so now the first question is like this. It goes like this: odometer is to mileage. That means odometer, it's used to analyze or else to like find out the mileage. Okay, so exactly likewise, what is the use of, or what does compass do? Just like odometer is used to get the exact mileage, exactly likewise, compass is used to get direction. So this is the correct answer. Okay. So direction is the correct answer. Not about any speed and hiking or needle. Of course, you have a needle in it, but the point is, what is it used for? Just like odometer is used to understand or know the mileage, exactly same way compass is used to know the direction. That is the point. Okay. Now next is marathon is to race. Marathon is a kind of race, or the process which we have in marathon is running race. Exactly likewise, what do we have in hibernation? Of course, it is sleep. Animals, there are animals like polar bear and all, they hibernate for a long period. Okay, so hibernation is sleep, not any other. It's not nap. You know the difference between sleep and nap. So nap is like afternoon, after you have your lunch, you just have a power nap, and that is sleeping, not sound sleep, not deep sleep, just what do you call, like light nap or else light sleep, not sound. Okay, so hibernation is deep sleep. Next is winter is to pain as book is to dash. So what exactly is winter and pain? You know what a winter is. Okay, so pain means where you have, like, suppose if this is your window where you have the glasses like this, okay, the glass part, and winter pane means a particular glass pane which is framed, which has a wooden frame surrounded. Okay, so like you have this particular one glass part is called a winter pane. So likewise, winter is to pane, like in the same way book is to its page, that interior part, not cover. Next is cup is to coffee as bowl is to dash, or which of the following option? Okay, so what is the use of a cup? To hold coffee. You drink coffee or tea in a cup. So exactly likewise, what is the use of a bowl? Is it to hold the options? Which option is the best one which you can select? It's not to, bowl is not to hold or keep or use to eat snacks. Instead, it is used to eat soup. Bowl, soup. Not food in general, not fork, not to keep fork or spoons or cutleries inside, but soup. Just like coffee is drunk in a cup. Okay. Then next is optimist is to cheerful as pessimist is to dash. Whom do you call an optimistic person? The one who is very like happy, right? Happiness, cheerfulness, almost similar in meaning. So the one who is optimist means that person will be cheerful or very happy. So in the same way, the opposite of optimism is pessimist. So obviously, if an optimist person is cheerful or happy person, it is obvious that a pessimist person will be a gloomy person. Not at all happy, just the opposite, gloomy. Okay, no other options are possible. He is not mean or arrogant or witty, but he will be gloomy if you call him as a pessimist person. Next, reptile is to lizard as flower is to dash. So here also, you know what reptiles are. So one example of reptile is given, and that is lizard. So in the same way, one example of flower is what you have to find in the option or from the option. So petal is a part of flower, stem, roots, okay, all these are part of plants as well. So here it's not about having part, but we want to have an example of flower, just like lizard is given as an example for reptile. So in that sense, we have a flower called yellow bell, and that is the answer. Why? Because it is one example of a flower. Okay. Now next is play is to actor as concert is to dance. So it's very easy. See, actors, they play or they participate or they act in plays. Actors could be whether it is in movies or in theaters or dramas. Okay, just like an actor is required for a play or is connected with a play, or the people who act in plays are called actor. So exactly same way, concert, which person is connected to that or what exactly is connected to that. Just like for play you need an actor, for concert we need a musician. So take it that way. To have a play stage we need an actor. The same way, to have a concert on stage we need a musician. Okay, even if you have a piano or you have melody, you have guitar, all other things, but not a musician, it won't be a concert. Next, masculine gender of goose. Remember, if you really remember, for the first or second exam, you had these questions in different way. Like sometimes you were asked to find out the feminine form, but then it's all connected. So if you remember those questions and if you were attentive, or if you still remember those questions, you automatically would get the answer to these questions as well. So masculine gender of goose is gander. This one. Not fox, not ram, not drake. Okay, so it is gander. Next, feminine gender of earl, just like duke, duchess, man, woman. Okay, so same way, like Mr., Mrs., those things were asked for the previous exams. So here, the female gender or feminine gender of earl is countess. These things are used for animals, not for people, not for human beings. Okay. Now, masculine gender of duck. Okay, a male duck. What do you call a male duck? And that is, again, starts with D but not do, it is drake. A masculine or a male duck is called drake. Okay. Then masculine gender of doe. Doe. Last time, I guess, the feminine, this was given as answer this was given as one of the options which was the answer, right? So that time it was asked what was the feminine gender of dash, for which you got this as the answer. Now it's just the opposite. This is given as question like what is the masculine gender of dove, and that is buck. Buck or deer. Okay, buck or deer. So here the option buck is given, so it's same thing. So the masculine gender of doe is buck. A male deer is buck and a female deer is doe. Okay, feminine gender of ram. Male goat. So it's Eve. This one. Not duck or filly or mare. Mare is used for horse. Okay, now we have next set of questions from 13 to 20. We have, as usual, the use of suitable prepositions. You need to find out the exact preposition which would fit into the blanks given from question number 13 to 20. Okay. First is, or 13th question is, you should not content dash a person like we know. That means you should not be satisfied with. So obviously, you should not content with a person like, or in other words, it has a similar meaning, you shouldn't adjust with, you shouldn't be happy, not happy about, but satisfied with. In that sense, it should be with. You should not content means satisfaction, right? So you should not content with a person like we know, or adjust with a person like. That is a meaning which it conveys. Next is Kiran will, there's a small error in the question, in the printing. I'll tell you what this word is. It's not content, it is contest. Competition or contest. Kiran will contest dash a seat in legislative assembly. Only then with this word only it would make sense. Let me put a full stop over here. Okay, so here Kiran will contest for a seat in legislative assembly. For a seat. He will compete for, he will fight for a seat in legislative assembly. Okay, then I complained. Automatically when you see the first part before the blank, I complain. Obviously the first preposition that comes to your mind will be I complained about. Okay, I complained about. But here about is not given as an option. We are given the options like for, of, with, to. And to should have been used if somebody, an object or a person is there. I complained to the person, to the boss, it would have been correct. But there is no person after the blank, so that to cannot be taken. And then other options with and for also cannot be taken. But you can take this as the option. I complained of his misconduct to the boss. See, when you have a person about whom you're complaining, you can use it as about. Okay, I complained about him. But if you're talking about his nature, and that is a matter of complaint, you can use this term of. So, of and about very often are interchangeable. So, since there is no option given as above, you can use instead of about, you can use of. No other options possible. So this is how it goes. I complained of his misconduct to the boss, which literally means I complained about his misconduct. It's almost same. So these two words of and about could be used interchangeably. Next is the beauty of this building consists dash its style and grandeur, greatness or grandeur. So it is in, lies in. So here the meaning is almost like the beauty of this building lies in its grandeur and style. It means the major factors for which this building is taken as beautiful, that is style and grandeur. So that is the meaning conveyed by the sentence. So once again, the beauty of this building consists in its style and grandeur, not with its style or at its style or from its style and grandeur. So you just try to match other words also, and you can understand why these words cannot be applied. Okay. Next, we were not consulted dash the new issue of debentures. Okay, so here when you go to consult a doctor or for when you seek experts' advice, you consult with a person. Okay, we consult with a person. But here the sentence structure goes like this. We were not consulted. It's passive voice. It's given passive voice, not active. So I did not consult. That is an active voice a sentence type structure. So there, of course, I have to use with. But here it is a passive voice is given. So to not to change, or you can't change the meaning of the sentence, right? So here it goes like this. We were, the meaning is nobody consulted us on this matter. So that meaning should be assumed, and to assume that meaning you have to use the correct preposition. So if you use on, that meaning will be assumed. Here we were not consulted on the new issue. That means there was an issue and on that nobody consulted us. To get that meaning you have to use on, since it is the structure of the sentence is in passive. Got clear? Then next is you should see similar type. Earlier it was a passive structure, and that is why you have to use on. And then to show the difference, another sentence or similar one is given. So here you should consult with some expert before taking a final decision. See, I'll tell you once again, the previous sentence is where it is a passive voice. We were not consulted on. Nobody consulted us. Okay, so we were not consulted on. Here, since it is passive voice sentence or structure. But here, active voice, active and passive voices. In active voice, subject is given importance, and in passive voice, object becomes the subject. Okay. So here, you should consult with some expert before taking a final decision. Whenever we are onto a venture, a new venture, we often consult with people who are experts, after seeking their advice only we start. So in the same way, you should consult with some expert before you take a final decision regarding this particular matter. Okay. Next, she's not displeased. Is it in such humorous jokes? No. About such humorous jokes, from or at, actually the best one, the applicable one is at something. Okay, at something is the proper. One example is, very often we say that she's not good in studies, but that is a wrong sentence. With the word good, we always use, to show one's expertise in something, or to say that somebody is good in something, do not use the word in. Instead, you have to say good at studies, good at singing, she's good at singing, she's good at cooking. Do not say she's good in singing or in cooking, etc. The same way, she's not displeased at such humorous jokes. Okay, not about. About could be used for a person, but since we do not have a person here, it's at. So at is the proper preposition. Then I am very much disgusted. See, check all the possible options. I am very much disgusted of him. No. For him, about him, it's with him. I'm disgusted with that fellow. That is how we say. I'm totally fed up with that fellow. So, in that sense, this particular sentence is used. All right. Now, we have a passage-based question, and you need to find out the options one by one that is suitable for each blank. Since it is a connected passage or connected blanks, you need to go through maybe to get the answer for 29th option, you need to go through the passage again, now and again. Okay, so that's why it's connected. It's a passage form. So let us see how it goes. Over the entire field of dash making, not peacemaking, because dash making, the problems facing the government are, then read the rest of the part, only then it's all about scientific things, technological things. So it's not anything connected with peacemaking, right? So it is actually policy making. Okay, so over the entire field of policy making, the problems facing the or faced by the government are, then what is the option? Are dash scientific and technological. Okay, so that is increasingly scientific and technological, or majorly or increasingly scientific and technological in dash our decisions. In not our decisions. I'm sorry. Here actually there is a full stop, and this is a fresh sentence. So it goes like this: over the entire field of policy making, the problems facing the government are increasingly scientific and technological in content. Full stop. Only then would make sense. Okay. So in content. And then the next sentences are decisions in defense and foreign, of course, affairs, foreign affairs, isn't it? Foreign affairs are increasingly governed by the developments in military and civil technology, especially in such matters. So that especially is used because we speak about particular matters. Okay, especially in such matters as armament and disarmament, the dash of, the elaboration of, not detail. It should have been details, not spreading, not dimension, but the elaboration of a new law for the seas or an international regime for space. The dash field of industry and agriculture, the entire field, okay, not the whole field. We use that term With field, entire field is the appropriate one. Okay, not the complete field, but when we speak about things as a whole, with the word field, better to use entire. The entire field of industry and agriculture, education, health and welfare confronts with a wide range of technological choices and even decisions in such seemingly non-scientific areas as taxation and procurement profoundly affect the pace and quality, not caliber, but quality of the nation's technological progress. See, actually, since it is connected, if you read it at a flow, only then you will get options or the correct options. Okay, if you look at the sentences individually, you may not get the proper one or the proper option. Instead, to get answer to the first blank, sometimes you have to read the entire thing, including the second one. Okay, similarly, to get answer to the 28th option, you need to go for the previous sentence. So likewise, in a connected passage or a continuous passage like this, passage-based questions, you need to read through the paragraph or passage many times to get the proper words for each blank or the correct words for each blank. Okay. Now, as usual, we have, let me split it over here. This is first part, second part, third. Okay. Now, it's not jumbled. It's given at a stretch. Only one part has gone wrong. And which part has gone wrong? That is what you have to identify. Okay. Nothing but fraud and double dealing are discernible in his actions. Nothing but fraud and double dealing. So this part has gone wrong. The reason is, say, when you say, when you use the term bread and butter. Bread and butter, two things, but taken as a whole or taken as a singular thing. I say that, okay, or else she had bread and butter, or bread and butter is very often eaten by her, is very often eaten by her, not are very often. So we use that bread and butter together. So in the same way, fraud and double dealing taken together, so it should be is discernible, not are discernible. So this part has gone wrong. Next, 4 parts. You, first part, look much handsome now. So which part has gone wrong? So you look much handsome now. Do we say that, or you look more handsome now? Okay, so that makes a huge difference, the use of much and more. So here, this part again has gone wrong, third one, because it would have been like this: you look more handsome now. Of course, you were handsome, in the past also, earlier also you were handsome, but now you have become more, that beauty has been increased. But if you write, or if you say you look much handsome now, that means you were ugly in the past and now only you look better or good. So that totally changes the meaning. So the correct option is the third one: you look more handsome now. Because with that word now, that's a clue to you, given to you, which is a comparison with the past. Okay. Then they discovered a large number of hoarded sugar in his shop. Last time also, for the previous exam also, we discussed something about countables and uncountables. Okay, with countables we use specific number, but uncountables we use certain units, but we cannot count it in terms of 1, 2, 3, etc. For example, you can't say 1 sugar, 2 sugars or 3 sugars. Instead, you have to say 1 kg of sugar, 2 kgs of sugar. Okay, so this part is wrong. So first, second, third and fourth part. So this part is wrong because they discovered a large number of sugar cannot be counted, or the quantity of sugar cannot be taken in terms of number. So it should have been, so this part has gone wrong, and how will you correct it? They discovered a large quantity of hoarded sugar in his shop. So instead of large number, it should have been large quantity, because this is uncountable, and number is used for countables, and quantity and such words such terms are used for uncountable. So that thing sugar is uncountable. Next, the social reformer worked for the benefit. See, one more thing is there. Actually, this is a printing mistake. It should have been benefit. It's just a printing error. So don't think that, okay, this part also is wrong and that part also is wrong, more than one option possible. No, this is a printing mistake. So this part is totally correct. Okay. So the social reformer worked for the benefit of disabled. Okay, so which part is wrong? This part is correct. The social reformer worked for the benefit of the disabled. So this part is wrong. The disabled. Disabled in general. A person who is handicapped also is called a disabled person. But if you say the disabled, that means it could even be poor category or downtrodden category. So that stands for people as a group. So to denote the people as a group, that you have to use just a small addition of the definite article the, but that is where we have the huge difference in meaning. So that fourth part is wrong. You just need to add the disabled, only then this sentence will be logical, sensible and grammatically correct. Last time also I said that it's not just correcting the errors, finding out the spelling mistakes or grammatical errors. You have to check 2-3 things. It should be grammatically correct, it should be sensible enough, and it should be logical enough. Okay. I think it is quite alright if you stay. See, when you read this, even if you read it twice or thrice or more than 3 times, sometimes you wonder what is wrong with the sentence. It is correct, isn't it? So I think it's quite alright if you stay. In fact, when we also speak, we use this. Okay, we don't think that anything has gone wrong in this sentence. Actually, a small word which has been given here as additional to what it is required, and that makes the part wrong. See, I think it is quite alright. You do not require this quite. So this part has gone wrong. The reason is you do not need that word quite here. I think it's alright if you stay. That quite and alright is not required. It's conversation, of course. When we speak, there is a difference between how you speak. It's colloquial, conversational style. And when you write down things, it's more of grammar, isn't it? And the way you use the words also, it must be proper to the context and each word, and just like you say, hardly none. Or another one is newly built building is inaugurated. Of course, it's understood that the building which is built recently, it will be inaugurated. So sometimes you use terms which ends up in unnecessary exaggeration, which is out of place or which is not required. So when you have things added, okay, very happiest, you don't say very happiest, because happiest itself is a superlative degree. Happy, happier, happiest. So that third form, if you use very happiest, that means that very is not required there. Okay, so in the same way, here this word quite would make it an exaggerated one. So instead of that, it's just go for the plain way, plain sentence. I think it's alright if you stay. Quite alright is not required. Now, direction for questions 36 to 40, find out the correctly spelled word from the given words. You have to choose, or you have to find out the word from the following which has been, or else which is the correctly spelled one, the correct spelling. So first one, it's Fahrenheit. Since you're science students, you might know which spelling is correct. It's Fahrenheit, first one, not the. There is no need to explain anything. Why? Because it's all about spelling, right? Now next is calibration. Actually, calibration means to measure or to standardize something, to measure the caliber of something, or to standardize something. That is what you call the process. It's a process. So the process with which you standardize something, anything, that is what you call calibration. Now the thing is, which one is correct? Is it with double L calibration, or is it single L and calibration? Again, double L calibration and single L calibration. It's not calibration but calibration, but with single L. Okay. Next is internum. Internum is the meaning is, say, when you have for example, when government changes, or else when we have a small gap of duration between two rules or two shifts in government, that period in between, like this government stops it ends, or the rule of that government ends, and then like the next party comes into rule. So in between that short period of time, that's what you call internum, and the correct spelling is the third one. Now, how do you spell, I mean, not spelling, but how do you pronounce this? It's entrepreneur. Okay, entrepreneur, and entrepreneur with this spelling, entrepreneur, entrepreneur. Okay, the one who starts business. Harassment, which spelling? You harass something, harassment, it is single R but double S, harassment. Okay. Now the next is next set of questions where we have jumbled a sentence. A sentence is broken into different parts and given in jumbled way. And which order will make it sensible and grammatically correct, that is what you have to find. Okay, so the world's best, actually, if you read the first option in its proper order in which it's given, let us see if it makes sense or not. The world's best-selling doll seems to have been overtaken by a midlife crisis. When you read it in the proper order in which it's given, isn't it right? So in that sense, it should have been A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E. This one. It was very silly, but then read it likewise. You read it in the proper, the order in which it is given. And if you feel that something is wrong somewhere, that means the order is to be rearranged, isn't it? So right now, when you read it in its proper order, you need not change anything because it's given in its order itself. So the world's best-selling doll seems to have been overtaken by a midlife crisis. So in the same order, you can read it. So it becomes a correct sentence. In that sense, A, B, C, D is the correct option. Okay. Next is, let us try the same technique. Let us see, will it work or not? Is plummeting, of course, when you start with the very first option, is plummeting fast. Obviously, it doesn't make any sense to start a sentence with is. And after all, it's not a question. Okay, if it is a question at the end of which you have a question mark, it would have been sensible. So in that sense, A cannot be taken as the first option. Okay, so that means let us see the second option. Demand and even resale values are at an all-time low, is plummeting fast. That also cannot be taken. So let us change it this way. Demand is plummeting fast and even resale values are at an all-time low. That means B, A, C, D, E. B, A, C, D, E. B, A, C, D. If you start with demand is plummeting fast, only then the sentence structure, the first part of the sentence structure will be correct. So the option where we start with B is the second option. So obviously this will be correct. Okay. Next is, their products are a clever amalgamation sociology of psychology and technology. Okay, so that won't make any sense. Of course, you can start with their products are, and you can also use this as the continuation, the B option as continuation. Their products are a clever amalgamation. Till then it is correct, isn't it? But then if you follow the same order, it won't make any sensible sentence. So their products are a clever amalgamation of psychology, sociology and technology. So A, B, D, C, E. A, B, D, C, E. Okay. And then next is, toys is not restricted to children alone but also to adults, the appeal of. Okay, so actually the first part till D, it sounds better, I mean no problem, but then the last option E cannot be added at the end. So can we start with the last part first? Let us see whether it makes sensible sentence or not. The appeal of toys, okay, just shift the position of E to the first place, and after that let us read it in its proper order. The appeal of toys is not restricted to children alone but also to adults. So E, A, B, C, D. So this one. Only that the last option, if you put that in the first place, of course it would become a sensible sentence, which is of course grammatically also correct. So let us read it again. The appeal of toys is not restricted to children alone but also to adults. So in that sense, it would become a sensible sentence. Okay. Next is, the human crisis is all about questions existential. That also is wrong, isn't it? So let us start with the first option. The human crisis is all about, till then it sounds great, no issues, grammatically correct, sensible. But after that, D and T, questions existential. That is where we have the problem. So can we have these two things swapped? And then we read the sentence like this. The human crisis is all about existential questions. It would become sensible. So A, B, C, E, D. A, B, C, E, D. Okay. Next is again, complete the following sentences with appropriate choice of words from the given alternatives. Okay. Stalkers hit the headlines, dash stalking celebrities. Whom do we call stalkers? The people who follow. Especially there are people who follow celebrities, almost pestering them or causing trouble to them, or almost like a nuisance, a big nuisance, isn't it? So in that sense, those people are categorized as stalkers. Okay. So stalkers hit the headlines. Sometimes they become the headlines of newspaper whenever they stalk celebrities. So in that sense, let us try all the words in the blank. Stalkers hit the headlines and stalking celebrities doesn't make sense. By stalking celebrities, of course, makes sense, isn't it? So stalkers hit the headlines. By stalking celebrities should be the correct answer. Okay. Next is, he rammed his car, dash her stationary vehicle. Of course, you collide and you rush into something. Your vehicle get clashed into something. So that into is given as one of the options. So you don't have to think much about other options. Or else if you want, you can try others also as well. He rammed his car on her stationary. On means something on surface level, not into or not deep into. Okay. Then by her stationary vehicle is not possible. Through her stationary vehicle also is not possible, but into. So when you have a vehicle collided with another one, it's almost like rushing into. Okay. Next is, he should not waste his dash furies of the sets. Okay. So sometimes when you speak about actors, this could be the sentence which you can use without doubt. Okay. So he should not waste his dash furies of the sets. That means creative. Not creation furies or create furies, but creative. That adjective must be used. We need an adjective to fill this blank. So this is the adjective which fits into the blank or with the words given after the blank. Next is, there may be a dash of black buck in California. So of course it would be shortage of, isn't it? So not there may be a lot. So already one A is given, so this word cannot be taken. Then A and most also do not go together. A tonnage of, we are not talking about huge number, we are talking about shortage. So this fits into the blank. Okay. Now the final question that we have on the board is, it does not mean that their films have been dash of social and political content. See, with certain words we have certain prepositions to be added at the end of it. So in that sense also, let us see which one is the better word to use. It does not mean that their films have been looted of. Looted is not a word to be used in this context. Okay, the meaning of this sentence is, their films are not, or their films do not lack social and political content. Their films have political and social content. So in that way you have to use. Okay, so it should be devoid of. So it does not mean that their films have been devoid of. Devoid of is that term which can be used instead of lack of. Okay, so this is the correct option to be used for this particular blank. All right, so I guess it was an easier paper compared to what you had in the previous weeks. So you would have scored good marks, and very soon we will have the next discussion session, and you will have some more questions and with similar explanation. Okay, so we will meet soon. Thank you all.